Episode
Let's
of
go.
Let's Go. It's all that needs to be said. I'm your host, Danny Ocean, as always, joined by the smoothest man on the planet, Losty Mix. How are you living on this pre-Thanksgiving holiday?
Oh man, my brother, I am thankful to be able to share another evening with you, with the people here. I'm doing incredible. Man, it's been I will say last couple days been a little rough. Just life, just life. It ain't nothing serious, but the silly shit that be happening with everyday life, man. Had a few of those nicks yesterday, but we came back better than ever today, and there have been some hilarious. I've woken up to a few hilarious sports stories that I was like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to talk about them. I can't wait to talk about. Cannot
Well,
wait."
let's get right into it. As always, the show is brought to you by goingfor2.com. Head over to goingfor2.com for all your fantasy needs. The playoffs are right around the corner. Um, Trade deadlines are coming and going. Waiver wire pickups. Now is the time to set your team for a deep playoff win and hopefully your road to a championship.
Mm.
So head over to goingfor2.com. Again, goingfor2.com. All your fantasy needs. Yeah, the playoffs. Do we have like what 3 weeks left? Three
Man,
regular season games left.
it is wild, yo. We are really getting to the end of the fantasy season. I'm looking at my five fantasy teams now, right? I got a 10-1 team. I have a 9-2 team. I have an 8-3 team.
Okay.
In my work league, I have a 6-4 team or 6-5 team because we just lost this week. And then in our redraft league, I am 4-7. And I'm still shaking my head because that team on paper is not 4-7.
Yeah, you've
That
caught some real bad breaks in our redraft league. You've caught
and
some real
and
bad breaks.
I keep thinking, yo, all I got to do is make the playoffs because if I make the playoffs, someone's not going to want to play me because my team can explode. I just got to get there. Whatever. But I say all that to say, in my top three leagues where I have a 10-1 team, a 9-2 team, and an 8-3 team, I have an opportunity to lock up 3 first-round buys in 5 leagues this week.
That's impressive.
Yo, if I can get 2 to 3 first-round buy, and one league I know I got a first-round buy. I'm 10-1, dog. I got that one wrapped up. But these other 2 leagues, if I can lock up a first-round buy, that's huge. That's huge. That
That's
is huge.
awesome because later when Kyle is in the show, I'm going to do a little bit of negotiating with Kyle as well as talk to you about a certain someone in our dynasty league who is ignoring me right now and it kind of pissing me off. So before we get there, D, what are we talking about tonight?
Man, tonight, people. Of course, we're going to talk about Week 11 in the NFL. A lot of great things, a lot of funny things, a lot of interesting storylines that always play out on Monday morning after an NFL Sunday that we want to speak about. Of course, the World Cup is here, so we'll speak a little bit about that because we are here to speak on all things sports related every Tuesday afternoon. Of course, when we get into our Block C segment, we'll get into our college football talk. They just came out with the rankings before we came on air. So really curious to get your thoughts as we kind of head into that last week of the season, Danny. And then in our quick hitter section, man, we're going to talk about the Monday night game in Mexico City last night. We're going to talk a little bit about the Raiders, talk a little bit about the Jets, Melvin Gordon. We'll talk a little bit college basketball because we are in that season. I got a question to you about Nick Sirianni following this win over the Colts. I feel like you
Yeah.
might be able to answer. And then, of course, we're going to end it off with some fantasy talk. And people, we actually have a speak to us question that we can get to. So, Danny, if you're ready, I'm ready. And what is up, Jamie? What's up? Let's get right into the NFL. Danny, week 11 in the NFL. The Browns and the Bills battled, but it wasn't in Buffalo. It was in the Detroit. Pause. The Cowboys beat up. Cowboys beat up on the Vikings in Minnesota. Green Bay, 1 week after getting onto their winning ways, they came back this week in week 11 and got right back to their losing ways. The Bengals and Steelers were in, of course, a war because it's a divisional game and it's the Bengals and the Steelers. Chargers and Chiefs give us another classic. And of course, the Philadelphia Eagles
Yes, sir.
pull out a late one versus the Fighting Jeff Saturday. Danny, What are your two biggest takeaways from Week 11?
The first one is going to reflect the show title, 1 Minute Man. Patrick Mahomes is that dude. You leave too much time on the clock, it's safe to assume he is going to come back and win. It doesn't matter if you're up 7, up 10, up 14. If there's time on the clock, Patrick Mahomes is going to find a way to find Travis Kelce. It's amazing to me, and I don't remember the last drive, but if you're the Chargers, and Derwin James guarded Travis Kelce a lot, but I don't like at some point when great players, you just got to say, hey, man, Derwin, wherever Kelce goes, you go, and we'll try to make up on the back end. Hartman is out. Juju Smith-Schuster is out. I think our corners, like I said, we can handle the other guys. Like, I just need you to focus on Travis Kelce. Like, that would have been my defensive game plan. I get you got to mix it up because he's Patrick Mahomes. But there's one throw he made to his backup tight end in the second quarter, and it looked like someone ran out there and just handed him the ball. Like, Patrick Mahomes is him. I mean, we've known this. Like, this isn't a surprise. The Chiefs are the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl, and rightfully so. But just seeing it, yeah, I think the Chiefs are.
Still the Chiefs? I thought everyone was on the Bills, heavy, or the Eagles.
Nah, I think is Kyle in here? Can anyone look up to see who the odds-on favorite is to win the Super Bowl? I would imagine it's the Chiefs. I can't imagine it'd be anybody else but the Chiefs, especially after
your
Sunday
franchise,
night.
The franchise in Philadelphia started out by 8 or 7, 8-0, 9-0.
Yeah, I think that line has gone down, especially the past 2 weeks, and they struggle. Second thing for me, buddy, the Rams are lucky they got one good year out of Matt Stafford, because he's gone right back to Detroit. Matt Stafford, like them picks. Woo! So right now, Detroit has their first round pick. Guess where that pick is, D? Guess where Detroit will be drafting on behalf of the Rams if the draft started today?
Got to be like top 5.
6.
Woo!
The Detroit Lions would have the 6th overall pick if the season ended today.
You think they licking their chops right now?
Oh, if you're Detroit. So right now, Detroit would draft. They would have the 6th overall pick, and they would have the 13th overall pick. So that's to say, if a quarterback were available, you have the ammunition to go get him this year. You got 2 first-round picks in the top 15. There's a value chart that I believe GMs use to kind of like distinguish the value with picks. I'm pretty sure 13 and 6 is enough to jump up to 4 or 5 to grab your guy if your guy is there.
What if they think Jared Goff is their guy and we just got to surround him by better talent?
Yeah, they don't believe that.
How do we know that?
They don't believe that. If they believe that, fire them today.
Okay, but like, how do I say this? Mm-hmm. Not everyone's a Patrick Mahomes,
right?
And actually, I'm that's part of my takeaway. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay. One thing I would say that is if you don't have Patrick Mahomes, you got to do everything in your power to find him. So if you think, if you think CJ Stroud is him, or if you think, Bryce is him, or the kid in Kentucky is him, then A-Dog, like Jared Goff, he's number 1 overall pick. We know what you are. We got to do what we got to do to get our version of Patrick.
So my thing, and my biggest takeaway, one of my biggest takeaways, my first one, it's kind of building off yours, but I'm taking the opposite. Listen, after watching the Chiefs and Chargers and then watching the Jets and the Patriots, listen, not everyone is Patrick Mahomes for a reason. And the fascination with everyone trying to find their Patrick Mahomes is what led to teams taking Zach Wilson way earlier than he probably should have. People, sometimes it's okay to just be an okay to average quarterback that does the job very well. Everyone wants the new Lamar, everyone wants the new Josh Allen, everyone wants the Joe Burrow or the Patrick Mahomes. But why doesn't everyone remember what those franchises were like before those quarterbacks got there? They were fucking hell. And they got lucky with those picks. They got lucky and once they immediately recognized the talent, you know what all of those teams did? They sold the fuck out to surround that player with talent. But you still have to be able to be a good manager of the game as a quarterback. That is your job. Listen, everyone was so busy telling Kyle Shanahan, the San Francisco 49ers, you guys need a QB because Jimmy G ain't it. He ain't doing XYZ game manager. They went out there, found Trey Lance, and for the first have a minute when Trey Lance is out there playing, a lot of folks are saying, whew, it's a whole lot of raw talent. Kyle Shanahan's gonna have his work cut out for him. They put Jimmy G back there. Now all of a sudden, ooh, look at Kyle Shanahan and his ability with all these weapons and do all X, Y, D, like he out there doing some shit out there calling some plays. Who out there delivering the ball to people? Jimmy G. And what do they? You see how they try to talk down on Jimmy G now? They don't want to give him his credit for being a winner, being able to just put his teammates in position to win. It's all well, you know how Kyle Shanahan be putting people in position to do all that. All Jimmy G have to do is to dip the ball. Like, duh. That's a quarterback. What the fuck are you talking about, dog? What are we talking about here? Everyone wants a everyone wants a Josh Allen, but sometimes it's okay to have an Alex Smith. Andy Reid was winning with Alex Smith for a while.
Yeah, but he didn't win the big one with Alex Smith.
That's because you got a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback, dog, but you're not getting a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback after all. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. Shall I keep going?
You got me at Eli. That's it. That's the.
Then the media hyped up Zach Wilson because he was doing all the no look, one arm. I can do this pass so easily, 60 yards, fam. You have to be able to read defenses and put the ball where it should go. A lot of these quarterbacks are too raw, and a lot of these franchises aren't putting these young players in a position to be successful. They're not surrounding them with the proper talent to be successful. And now look at the Jets. Now you got to sit there and you got to look at the rest of your locker room. You got a defense that's playing good. You have good skill position players. Now you got to look at 53 men or 52 men and explain to them why you're about to send Zach Wilson to start over Joe Flacco when the offense does not look the same. Does not look the same.
The ghetto.
That's the true ghetto. My second takeaway. Has there ever? Okay, this is a two-part second takeaway. One, has there ever been a QB room as bad as the one that is currently in Carolina right now? Have we ever seen a QB room that bad?
That's a high school quarterback room.
My second takeaway, the Chargers. Now that you guys have lost both games to the Chiefs, this is usually the part of the season where y'all start chalking it up and just start getting ready for next season because y'all only want to play competent football when you play the Chiefs. And then everyone else, you do some real dumb shit. Watch it. I bet you these next couple Chargers games, we're going to sit there and we're going to be like, yo, you guys cannot be the same old Chargers. Yes, they can.
Yes, they can. Which is sad.
Yes, they can. The Chargers, the Chargers, they really played to win that game versus Kansas City. And they was about this close to winning it, except Brandon Staley, fam, do not give that man the ball back with any time.
Jesus, man. When will they learn?
Dallas still ain't learning when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. Like, just don't give him any time.
Just don't sit on the ball.
Take the tie. Matter of fact, take the tie.
Or you got to, yeah.
So with that, now that we got our takeaways out the way, now we can get into our favorite question of the week.
Yes.
Who had the most embarrassing loss of the week? Danny, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, it's easy. It's the New York Jets. Danner, dog. So if anyone here who does not follow Dan Orlovsky on Twitter, do yourself a favor and follow Dan, because Dan is a great follow and he breaks down game film and how plays are supposed to unfold. And he had like 2 or 3 plays where Zach Wilson had wide receivers running wide open for touch. Like there's the one to Mims. I think there's one to Wilson. Like this shouldn't have been a game. It should have been 14-21-3 Jets. It's over. And you can follow Dan Orlovsky. And he has some videos from Sunday. He's like, yo, this is the easiest play known to man. If the safety walks up, you have one-on-one, you have a whole space. Like he just breaks it down so like it's perfect. And Zach had at least 2 where his receivers were just wide open. There was one play he had 3 open receivers, and he tucked it and ran.
How does Robert Saleh explain starting Zach Wilson over Joe Flacco? Man, and Zach Wilson. Don't you ever get up to an NFL podium after playing like that and say, "I did not let the defense down."
Dog, we'd have to fight. Yo, like
man.
if I'm Quentin Williams, yo, let's come talk to me. Get your ass beat by a big man with braces in his mouth. Ain't that a bitch?
Look, you know one of the defensive players took the stat sheet and was like, "Hey, yo, dog."
Yo, can you imagine Sauce coming up, dripped out, like, "Hey, man, what is this?"
They just, hey, who? I want to know who was the defensive player reading the stats like Mr. Wilson, 8 of 20, 87 yards, no touchdowns.
I bet you,
fault, huh? Yeah, all right.
I could do that.
It's bad. It's bad. Okay, so while you went the New York Jets, and rightfully so, although I knew the Jets were going to lose because, listen, the Patriots have a mind power over them. Mentally, the Jets have to beat the Patriots before they'll physically be able to beat them.
Yes.
The real most embarrassing loss of the week, Nathaniel Hackett, Russell Wilson, and the Denver Broncos. I'm right back on your head. The Vegas Raiders can only beat the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, Denver, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, they are really bad. But what makes me mad is that if you watch the Denver Broncos games, I watched a few of them now. It is not the defense. It is. I want to say, if you are a defensive player of the Denver Broncos, dog, you want Future to win a Grammy so bad. You just want Future to win a Grammy so bad because fam.
Dog, it's one of the best defenses in the league.
Oh, I said it last week. The Denver Broncos defense really has no peer. If you look at statistically speaking, the Denver Broncos defense is elite in multiple categories. They are very, very, very upset at the fact that their offense can't do a fucking thing.
Except Surtain when he goes against Devontae Adams. Did you see that route Devontae put on Surtain in overtime? Yeah. A crime.
But Surtain is probably saying, dog, he should be scoring this touchdown while we're up 28-7.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, whatever. Not tied, and this game's over. How long do you think Nathaniel Hackett makes it to the end of the season?
Yeah, he does. Right. We're too close. Like, what are we, 6 games out? Have we played 10 games?
11 games?
Yeah, 11, yeah.
They're that about.
Yeah, 10 or 11, depending on if you had your bye week yet or not. We've already reached double digits. Yeah, they've cut Melvin Gordon. Like, Jerry Jeudy's out. I think Nathaniel Hackett makes it to the end of the year, but I tell you, Black Monday, his name will pop across Adam Schefter's Twitter feed at midnight, Eastern Standard Time.
Midnight. Listen, so I'm reading some of the comments in the chat. Kyle said the Jets can't do anything right, and their QB room is proof. That is, I love that. Jamie said the Browns the past 20 years are the worst QBs. Okay. But, Jamie, my argument to that is no Browns QB room has had the same type of talent that's in this drafted talent that's in this Carolina QB room. They have a number 1 overall pick and what was Sam Darnold? Like 4, 5, 6?
I thought Sam was 2.
Okay. So you have a number 1 and number 2 overall pick in the same QB room, and the best quarterback in there came from the XFL. Let's see. Kyle said the Jets wanted a rookie. They took Wilson over Justin Fields. They wanted a Super Bowl champ. They got Joe Flacco. They wanted a Canadian Football League QB. They signed Chris Streveler. And for the record, Kyle says, Streveler, while Grey Cup champion, was the 3rd string QB on that Winnipeg team.
That's sad.
Oh, man. Look, man. Bam says he thinks that the Broncos will give Nathaniel Hackett 1 more year. Listen, I think it's going to be hard I think if you are a defensive player on that team, how do you even justify bringing back? How do you justify wanting to come back to this team and thinking like this offense is going to become like fam. And in a way, the offense is so bad that it's making the defense worse.
Because they're on the field all the time.
Mm-hmm. Got to get better. Got to get better. All right. Over to another football. Only this time we're talking about the pitch.
Let's
The
go.
world is here. Now, yesterday, I don't know about you, but I was in my Joel Santana USA. I was big USA. It's very rare that you see me get all USA, but for the World Cup and the Olympics, I get mad Team USA. So yesterday, we had our first match in our group stage versus Wales, not Wales.
No, ain't nobody saying Wale's. Who's saying Wale's?
Wales.
Were you in DC? Is that what they're saying in DC?
No, I watched. I was in DC last week, but I just wanted to make sure that this country is Wales.
Yes,
I pronounced
Wales.
it right. So we played Wales yesterday. We dominated the first half, the first 45. We went into half 1-0. Had second 45. Whew, completely different story. They ended up Christian. I forgot. Gareth Bale. Anyway, they kicked Wales had a penalty kick to tie it at 1-1, and the score stayed at 1-1. We ended up having a draw at 1-1. We also saw England really beat up on Iran. Earlier today, France beat up on Australia. Qatar, the host country, they started this whole thing off getting their shit pushed back in. Whew, Lord have mercy. So my question for you, we're not gonna pretend like we're the biggest football fans in the world. So we're gonna keep this a little basic. Danny, I gotta ask you.
Yep.
How USA are you for Team USA this World Cup?
So this is going to sound real bandwagony, but I am not investing in Team USA until Team USA proves that they are a competent football club. Like when the Women's World Cup, hell yeah, sign me up, because the Women's U.S. national team, they're actually really good, and you can tell that they work at it. The men's team has been a huge disappointment over the past 15 years, so I've really not paid attention. So if we catch fire and start going on a bit of a run, sure, I'll put on. I don't have a Joel Santana USA outfit, and I know this is going to sound weird, but I'd love to see a picture of it because that sounds hilarious. Do you have the buttons to go with it?
Oh man, you ain't seen the Joel Santana? He had the America flag
No.
bandana. He had the jacket. Oh my God!
I've seen the fit on Santana, but I'm saying if you have that fit, the people deserve to see it.
I might maybe because the only time I don't really celebrate Halloween. The only time I would have to wear that is either a World Cup or Independence Day, but I'm black, so my Independence Day ain't July 4th. So
the streets. Oh, God, there's a rice cooker right on time. Right on time. But yes, the streets need to see. Yeah, the streets need to see Santana. That's a great Halloween costume. I wish I'd have thought of that.
Oh man! All right, one of these. I mean, okay, I might maybe next Halloween if I do something like I did this year, go like to Disney World and Universal again. I might break down the Joel Santana fit. All right, but to your point, all your points are very, very valid. The USA men's team has been a little bit of disappointment, but I will say this year I've been hearing this is probably this is the year we should be starting to trend upward. We should be able to make it out of our group stage now. Yo, I watched France earlier today. Hey, you ain't fucking with them boys. They can play. Hey, the French. The French.
No. You're not gonna say I watched France today. And not say pause. No, sir. No, sir. We're gonna rewind that.
Unpause me. Resume me. Resume me. Nah, resume me.
You're not gonna scream into a mic. And no, dog.
Hey, yo.
You're not gonna say no.
This is all I'm gonna say. After watching France earlier today, and after watching Team USA yesterday, I was like, oh, okay. Well, now I clearly see the difference in what an elite men's national team looks like and what an up-and-coming men's national team looks like. Clear differences. France is, whoa, they got some dogs. Hey. Heard Spain's pretty good. England ain't no chumps. We play England, I believe.
Friday. We play England on Friday.
We play England on Friday. Listen, the timeline might look like 1776 around this piece.
Oh, we selling people?
No, okay. Okay, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Well, I mean, no, I'm not gonna go there. Look. It's gonna be so funny. It's gonna be so funny when if England was to beat USA. Can you imagine the type of shots that the UK folks are gonna be sending at America? Because you know when it's country to country beef, they don't just say, "Oh man, shut your ugly ass up." Now they're gonna say some mad political shit. That's why y'all can't control y'all's guns over there. Like, whoa, I ain't even gonna do that.
Whoa! Who just put their queen in the ground, pimp? Like,
and yo, Americans gonna be so dirty with it. Oh, we can't control our guns. Tell your queen to do something about it then. Now
yeah,
it's like, oh, that's all beef. Like, oh,
mask off.
they're gonna be like, yo, dog. We're gonna be like, yo, dog, y'all eat beans and toast for breakfast.
Exact dog. Like, anyone who eat beans for breakfast can't talk to me. No, sir. Yo, can you imagine?
Oh,
you dating a girl from across the pond, and you wake up, you had a great night together, and she put baked beans on the table. Girl, that's it. We done.
Oh man, now you gotta get the fuck out of here. Like beans, like
beans.
They can come back and be like, yo, in y'all's country, y'all eat shit called chitlins. Who is really the fucked up one? And they might have us on that one.
You know what I would say? That I'd say, well, if your people didn't sell my people to America, for some coffee, it's like,
man, yo, I think it's gonna be. Listen, England, y'all better handle business because y'all's team is supposed to be better than ours. If you let Team USA come in and kick your shit around a little bit, it ain't gonna be, man. Listen, Americans are already entitled in other sports, other international sports. Don't give us one where we know other countries are naturally better than us. Fam.
Thank you, Gary. It was T.
Now, it's universally known that America is good at sports like track, sports like basketball. Obviously, we have American football that's more universal to us. If American men, I should say, because the women are really good already. American men got really good at soccer. Do you think that would have a positive impact on the MLS?
Potentially. The problem with the MLS is that they don't have any stars. Like that's like all America. We care about people who entertain us and who are stars. Like you see, to a degree, because let's say on the men's side, right? Because the WNBA has plenty of stars and people still don't watch. In regards to men's sports, Americans love someone who's good and who's going to tell us that they're good. I know we act like we hate charismatic people, but we love Deion Sanders. We love Michael Irvin. We love LeBron.
We love Floyd. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, people love Floyd. Like Americans want a cocky star who's going to tell us that he is the best at what he does. There's too much humility on Team USA. Where's the me guy?
Well, I mean, I think what that is, the real me guys in international soccer or international football, as they call it, is that they're not from here. They're like, I would say, Bam just mentioned one, Ronaldo. I know there's been some clips of his recent interview that's been hitting the timeline. He just left Man U. Obviously, we have Messi, who some consider the GOAT. I mean, them are the two, Mbappe, who plays for the French national team. Those are three huge soccer names. None of them are American. Obviously, our biggest one would probably be Christian Pulisic. And look, he was playing. He's a member of our USA men's national team. He was really good. It's just I don't think he's obviously not a Ronaldo. He's not a Messi yet. You know what I'm saying? I think he's got some potential, but it's not a Ronaldo, not a Messi. So I don't know. I'm gonna be big Team USA, and honestly, I'm hoping that they can make it out the group stage, because make it out the group stage, now you're playing some real dogs.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Now, if we're gonna be a little bit silly, let's talk about some of the the opposite ends of what could happen at the World Cup, and you go on national TV in front of the world, and your country gets fucking bent over and given a new one by a clear contender, and now you're wondering, hey yo, dog, how did we get here? How did we get here? I know the folks of Qatar was sitting there wondering, hey dog, we bribed our way to hosting this shit for this?
We sacrificed hundreds of people to build this stadium for this?
Man. England, what England did to Iran, I was like, yo, y'all acting like y'all about to invade that country again. What is y'all cannot be doing this?
Is George Bush the coach of Iran?
He might be. Oh man. Let me tell you something. All right. Danny, you wanted to talk? Oh, okay. So Gator says a crazy thought here. I don't think the MLS has the money like the European leagues do. Even the U.S. owners that own U.S. soccer teams own teams in Europe. Makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a great point.
I think the people those owners who own MLS teams, they probably own them with the hopes that one day this sport's really, really going to catch fire over here, and I want to be in early. Good. I hope it does. I really hope we make a statement in the World Cup and start bringing some more international talent to the States, and hopefully the MLS can get big. Could you imagine if the MLS becomes like the Final Four? Because technically it's the NHL. You got MLB and NBA and the NFL, and the NHL is kind of taking that fourth slot in the biggest sport in the fourth biggest sport in the country. But I think the MLS. I want to see the MLS give hockey a run for its money. Obviously, I think hockey's going to be in that top four. But if we can make it a top five, or I think it just
people love violence too much. And in soccer, I will say soccer is the safest.
It's the safest of the violent sport, because I'll be out there like, hey, yo, dog, you're not finna be kicking me that way and think I'm not about to Randy Orton punch you in the head when I get back
here
up.
We go.
Oh, man. Are you ready to talk a little college football? Because I'm about to get some shit off.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, people. So we are approaching what is normally called in college football rivalry week.
Let's get it.
If you went to a major public university in the States, then you know that there is one team that your university always got smoke for. Always. I'm talking when you see their name, they got smoke. Now, normally around this time, me being a Virginia Tech Hokie, I'd be big anti-UVA this week. Obviously, the game has been canceled due to the very tragic events that happened last week. And again, we want to express our deepest and most heartfelt condolences to the University of Virginia and the University of Virginia program. But that doesn't mean that my other teams that I'm in the closet fans for, that I don't have smoke for them. So let me get some of my bias out the way before I get into this.
Go for it.
This week, I'm big anti-Michigan. Fuck them. Let's go. Buckeyes. OHIO. And don't get it mistaken, I'm big Bama too. So fuck Auburn. Roll damn Tide.
All right.
And y'all know I've been big on the TCU bandwagon. I don't even know who the fuck they ended their season with, but let's go TCU.
Let's see who TCU plays this week.
My last one is just off the strength of me wanting some chaos. I'm a big Notre Dame guy this week. I hope Notre Dame takes USC out back and sends them to the fucking Bay Area. That's how bad I want Notre Dame to beat Southern Cal. I don't know if it'll happen now. Who do they play?
So TCU plays Iowa State, and I'm going to take the opposite approach. Fuck Notre Dame. I don't have a favorite college team outside of my alma mater, Old Dominion. That's why college football is so much fun for me, because I don't have any rooting interest. But dog, I'm sick. Fuck Notre Dame, dog. I hope you
see if Notre Dame wins. Now we got to have a big discussion on who the fuck are we really going to put in here. But let's talk about last week, because we got to give some context about some of these games that are coming up. Yep. So last week, everyone in college football saw the University of Tennessee talk all that shit during the early portion of the games, and then it came for prime time in their game, and they got taken out back by South Carolina
Spencer Rattler.
and Spencer Rattler. Interesting to your boy. Over in College Station, Texas, Jimbo Fisher has fans walking out of Texas A&M football games at halftime. That's where they're at the state of that program. Sad times. North Carolina lost to Georgia Tech, which is hilarious. That's hilarious because UNC, look, Clemson is upset. Is because they're just beating up on everybody and they're just hoping that the rest of the ACC can make them look good, and they can't.
Nope.
We saw Southern Cal and UCLA. They were in an all-time class. That was a really good
That was a great game.
Michigan and Ohio State both remain undefeated. That makes this matchup between the Buckeyes and the Wolverines this weekend essentially the first playoff game of the year. And one of the most impressive victories I saw this week was how TCU walk-off field goal. People,
crazy.
Enough of y'all watch professional football, enough of y'all watch college kickers kick to know a walk-off field goal with no timeouts, and you got to run out there and kick that shit and make it is not easy. So, Danny, with all of this, the latest rankings from the committee are this and in order. Number 1, UGA. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Michigan. Number 4, TCU. Number 5, LSU. Number 6, Southern Cal. 7, Bama. 8, Clemson. 9, Oregon. And somehow, after getting stomped all over, Tennessee is at number 10. Danny, what are your thoughts?
First, what Gator Jerry was saying, Hooker for Tennessee, he did blow his knee out during the South Carolina game.
Prayers
really
for
sad.
Him.
That's really sad. My thoughts: we need Southern Cal in the playoff. I need Southern Cal to throttle Notre Dame, and I need LSU to lose. The streets need college football is great when USC is great. USC is great. We need them in the college football playoff. Let's rig it. Do it. Stop the count. Well, not right now. We need to keep counting. But if they beat Notre Dame this week, they should jump up to at least 5. Who does LSU play this week? I don't think who's LSU?
LSU plays A&M. Their last game is always A&M.
That's not impressive at all. So if SC beats Notre Dame, they should jump LSU for 5. And whoever loses between Michigan and Ohio State will probably jump to 5, which means SC would jump up to 4, TCU 3, Ohio State 2, UGA 1.
That's how you think. So that's your thing. You're thinking after this week and we get into the college championship. The conference championship games is going to be when it's all said and done. You think?
I hope it's UGA, Ohio State, TCU, USC.
Okay. So here's my thoughts about the latest rankings. What jumps off to me is Notre Dame. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's get some chaos going. Here's my thing. Everyone, I hear you on Southern Cal, and I actually agree with you that College football is better when Southern Cal is better. My beef is that their head coach, I think, is a complete fraud. And I've seen this movie plenty of times.
Okay.
Plenty of times. I've seen the Lincoln Riley team that can throw up all the offensive numbers, Biletnikoff, Heisman Trophy winners, yada yada. And they go, they play that first game against the SEC, and they get walked all over. I'm done seeing the Lincoln Riley get trained in the college football playoff. I'm absolutely done. I'm done. Stop it. Stop it. Now, with that being said, I'm looking at the rankings and I'm like, okay, I want Notre Dame to beat USC. That would pretty much drop USC out.
Yep.
My second wish, low key, I'm all for chaos. Yo, if LSU could find a way to beat UGA, just a smidge, oh man, we're about to open this the fuck up. Because we got to open this the fuck up. Because look, okay. I think if LSU could beat UGA, and after Ohio State go ahead and collect some rent from those bums in Ann Arbor, listen, here's what I think we should do. I think we need to really. I think at that point Let's keep UGA in because they're the number one team, clearly. Yep. You got to put LSU in because they beat the number one team. You got to put Ohio State in because they'd be undefeated with a conference championship game. Then you got to decide between TCU. Listen to this. Then you got to decide between TCU, Clemson, and potentially, listen to this, Oregon or Notre Dame.
So, to your Notre Dame point, you know what would help Notre Dame? If they played a conference championship game. Ain't that a bitch? So next week, when everyone's playing for a conference championship, Notre Dame's going to be at home, even if they beat USC.
It's going to hurt them.
Doesn't matter. I don't care. And you lost to Marshall. Like, I'm not going to hold Ohio State against you, but you lost to Marshall at home. But my, oh my, if you only had one more shot to show the committee that you deserve to be in the playoff. Damn. That's a tough scene, Notre Dame. That's a real tough scene.
Why does everyone just counting out Clemson? I actually that's another thing I don't. That's another one of my thoughts. I don't like how this committee is just writing off Clemson. Yo, so okay, if Michigan can lose a game and you can still consider them, like if Michigan loses to Ohio State and then you like still have them in the conversation of potentially getting in, why the fuck wouldn't you put in a one-loss Clemson team who wins the ACC? I'd take a one-loss Clemson team who won the ACC over a one-loss Michigan team who ain't played nobody but a bunch of high schoolers
and did not make it to their conference championship game. That's the thing. Like I would rather take the loser of the conference championship game than the one-loss team who didn't even make it to the conference championship game. Gator.
Yeah, see, that's not true because that's not Gator. Gator says Clemson has looked like shit all year. That's not true. They look bad against Notre Dame. I'll give them that. Clemson has been dominating a lot of people. Listen, they just don't win all pretty. Clemson dominates the line of scrimmage from an offensive defensive line perspective. Their defense shuts people the fuck down. They run the football well, and they ask DJU to make the throws and runs necessary to win the game. Clemson, bam. I'm looking at the 7 teams they have ranked ahead of Clemson. I can give you UGA. I'll give you Ohio State. The dudes who play in Ann Arbor, no. TCU, maybe. LSU, USC.
I think LSU would wax Clemson.
I don't.
I think LSU and Bama would. I think USC, Clemson are on the same tier. Like I think that'd be an excellent game.
Y'all. I think y'all are being unfair to Clemson because y'all have seen what this program has looked like when they've had Mike Williams and and Trevor Lawrence and all the guys. Like,
Gator, you talking shit about FSU?
FSU
UF better not lose to them boys on Saturday.
FSU's not a bad team.
You talking shit about FSU? Y'all better not lose on Saturday.
I just don't get how the committee in America holds the ACC being bad against Clemson, but then tries to justify Michigan being 3, and they ain't played nobody.
That DJ ukulele.
Come on. Listen, all Clemson has done is win 99% of their games, and the only game they lost was on the road against another college football ranked team.
But that loss happened 2 weeks ago, right? It's not about losing. It's also when you lose, right?
Okay.
Losing in November is a lot harder to overcome than losing in September, October.
But if after that victory, they just held Miami to under 100 yards of total offense. And you can say Miami.
Is that something though? Miami is terrible.
Dog, Michigan was just in a dogfight against who?
That's fair. I'm not out here riding for Michigan. And Gator, I'm sorry, I missed.
Listen. If you say the ACC is bad, then I want you to look at the Big Ten and tell me, outside of the Kings that play in Columbus, who are the good teams in this conference?
I would like to say Iowa averaging 7.5 points per game.
You give me, fam. Look, you gonna give me Penn State? All Penn State does is get blown up by Michigan, Ohio State, and then play everyone else very close in the Big Ten. Oh, tell me I'm lying. They be in 17 to 25 dog fights with Northwestern. Thank you.
Oh, Bam said OSU almost lost Northwestern. One
Okay,
second
let's
before we
talk.
keep going.
Let's talk about that.
Let's take a break because Kyle has been updating us on Canadian football all year. So I want to acknowledge that.
Let's do it.
So the Winnipeg Blue Bombers failed in their quest for a three-peat. Damn, they lost by a point. That's tough.
Damn.
Dog. But back to what you were saying. I'm not a Michigan writer. I don't care about Michigan. I'm not a big Harbaugh guy. Like they look terrible Saturday for a while. I watched a little bit of that game.
I just think that the media and some fans, I think people see what I think what people fall victim of is they look at teams like 2020 Bama or 2019 LSU, and they say if you are not completely blowing these teams out the way this team does or this team did, you shouldn't be a lock-in. Instead of more so viewing it how we view winning in the NFL. Yo, you can win in the NFL by a point or by 50 points. But on Monday or Tuesday, the only thing that's going to matter is, did you win?
I guess the question for that would be is, what is Clemson's signature win? Is it Florida State? Like, what is their signature? Right, because we talk about that. What's your signature win? Like the Ohio State-Michigan game, whoever wins that game, that's your signature win. UGA's signature win was Tennessee. LSU's signature win was Bama.
I mean, I know they beat Florida State. They beat Louisville, and they might have played one of them. Both of those are ranked. Both of those teams are ranked, by the way, Louisville and Florida State. And I think Florida State played one. I mean, I think Clemson played one or both of them on the road. They've also they beat up on. Let's not forget they beat up on North Carolina State when at the time North Carolina State was ranked very, very high. Like
that was a Saturday night game. I remember that game.
Like we everyone has revisionist history. Now we know North Carolina State isn't good, but at that time, that was a highly ranked team, and everyone recognized that this was a highly ranked team. A lot of people said that North Carolina State at the time was better than Clemson. Like, listen, let's just hold people like, yes, style points and winning by 30, 40, 50 is good, but I'm going to tell you right now, when y'all think about those teams who was beating everyone that way, you got to think about the talent that was on that team. The 2019 LSU Tigers had multiple first-round picks. A lot of them are on a lot of you people's fantasy teams.
That's fair.
The 2019 or 2018 Clemson Tigers had a lot of good got a lot of good players on them, a lot of which are on a lot of y'all's fantasy teams right now. So y'all start thinking about, oh, this team they only beat by such and such by they don't only beat such and such by a couple points, but yeah. This team isn't as good as that team that was once that good, but that doesn't make this team not good. It just means that this team isn't as dominant as the other one. You can't fault them for not being dominant. I don't like that. I think we got to, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to see. I think this week, UGA is going to win. I think Ohio State's going to win mightily and very nasty. Wouldn't surprise me if they win like 51-10. I think TCU is going to win. I think LSU is going to pull out a nasty game versus A&M. I'm not gonna say poor Bama, but Bama's sitting there at 7. They're just like, fuck, man.
Yeah, Bama's done.
Because Bama lost by like a total like 3 or 4 points. They lost by a total like 3 or 4 points on the road in the last minute versus two good teams. It's unfortunate, but it just be like that sometimes.
Dog, Bam and Gator J are fired up tonight about this college football. I love it.
Use that logic. What do you think of Tennessee being ranked at 1 for a week? Oh, they did that for UGA. They did that for UGA because, listen, they did that for UGA because outside that Oregon win, they was looking at UGA's schedule and they was like, hey, dog, where's the win? Where's the other win since that one? And they was like, let me throw y'all a little something. We didn't overhype these dudes in orange for a little bit. Give y'all a little something. Toss that, give them that little bulletin board material for y'all. If y'all really the number one team, Georgia, let's see if this will piss y'all off. And it did.
It
did. Shit. All right. You ready to get into our quick hitter section?
Let's do it.
Shout out to Gator J and Bam. That's some really good combo. I love the aspect of the college football player because it does generate a lot of good conversation.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when they announce the final four, I already know I'm gonna be like, yeah, someone got left off. Someone got left off. All right, let's talk a little Monday Night Football, right? Last night, we saw the San Francisco 49ers, led by Kyle Shanahan, versus the Arizona Cardinals. And it was played over in Mexico City. Shout out to all my Hispanics, my Mexicans out here. It looked like it was a great time. Danny, thoughts coming out of this one?
Nothing surprising. The Arizona Cardinals look like Kyler Murray was not there.
So, okay, question for you. What do you do if you're the Cardinals? You're sitting there with four wins. You're in between. Should we try to make a wild card spot run, or should we just start thinking about the future?
So here's the problem with the Cardinals. That they I wouldn't say misread the room. Their window was very small. Remember last year they started 7-0. They traded for Zach Ertz. They went all year. They have one of the oldest rosters in the NFL. But you have your quarterback for the future, and you have your QB, who you think is your QB, and you have signed him to a massive extension. So you cannot tank, but also you cannot win with this roster because it's old and you've invested a lot of resources. So you're kind of in the middle of rebuilding on the fly. I don't know their salary cap situation for next year. I'm sure it's not anything pleasant because, again, you have Kyler Murray's contract. Right now, if the draft started today, they would have the 11th overall pick. I believe, yes, I'm with Bam. I would nurse Kyler Murray's injury a little bit more, let Colt McCoy play a few more starts, try to lock in a top 10 pick. Either use that pick to draft a blue chip player or see if you can use that pick as leverage to get more picks or some players and some picks to help rebuild this team on the fly, because you can't tank because you got Kyler Murray and you've already signed him to this massive deal. Like you can't tank right now because there's no way out of his contract.
So I'm laughing at Bam saying Kyler's been injured since the new Call of Duty came out. So my big reaction was the Cardinals, dog. First off, you guys got to learn how to run the football. Like, the thing I kept noticing about the Cardinals is their game script on first and second down was always negative. Like, they cannot run the ball, and I'm like so confused on why you cannot run the ball and you have a very mobile quarterback. Usually, teams with mobile quarterbacks are most of the time near the top in terms of run the football, right?
Right.
These guys are like near the bottom, and if you took out Kyler Murray's rushing yards, it gets even nastier. So, now granted, I've always loved the story of James Conner as a football player. I do not think as a runner, he is the runner that they need. And there's a reason the Steelers let him go so fast, but I digress. I don't know. I think what we should be talking about is the San Francisco 49ers a little bit. If I'm being honest with you, while I do think Kyle Shanahan gets a smidge too much of the credit for the success of this team, the team is good. The Niners, clearly, you see their vision offensively. You can see defensively they play good football. Yep. I don't like this notion that the Niners are suddenly the biggest threat in the NFC. That to me is a load of horse shit. I'm going to be
really,
because I see the Eagles play, I see the Cowboys play. The Niners aren't the team in the NFC that really scared me. Like, I
think they're the biggest threat to the Eagles. No. Like Fred Warner Fred Warner's the best linebacker in the league, and he can solve a lot of problems for crossing routes and shallows.
I don't see it. I don't see the hype in the 49ers. I think
okay.
I think they're all smoke and mirrors and all motions and shifts. And if you figure out a way to shut that down, you'll be perfectly okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I just, Like
I,
they just don't do it for me. But
can I
I
go
don't think
back
they're the
to
best team in the division. If I'm being honest with you, I like the Seahawks a little bit more. But
okay? I hear you. I can see how you get to that conclusion. To me, I just think the Seahawks are the biggest threat to the Eagles. Like it's 49ers and Dallas are those are the two teams that I'm like, that would be a good game. I want to go back to the Arizona thing. So this all season, they're scheduled to have $16 million in cap space. Next year, Kyler Murray's contract hit is only $2 million. I believe that'll be his fifth year option. 2024 is when it gets really spooky for the Cardinals because Kyler Murray's cap hit is $37 million. That is his base salary. They're projected to have $69 million in 2 years. So maybe that's what you look forward to, but I have a feeling that's going to get eaten up real quick. But Kyler Murray's contract doesn't kick in until 2024. So
what do you think would take the Cardinals to just be like, this guy isn't it?
ooh, that's now we're talking Browns, Baker Mayfield territory. Like that's where you'd have to go. And if the league gets an inkling that you're trying to trade Kyler Murray before his contract, now like we're talking like Carson Wentz is the same thing, right? Dog, you're going to get pennies on the dollar because teams know you have no leverage. Like if it gets out that you want to trade Kyler Murray, you have zero leverage. It's like, dog, I'll give you a 5th round pick and my 3rd left tackle, and that's what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about leverage. Like if the word gets out that hey, the Cardinals are looking to trade Kyler Murray, and that's real, like the Cardinals would have zero leverage.
Yeah. I think what you would have to do is you got to. I think if the Cardinals really wanted to make that trade, you have to bombard somebody, and you have to basically say, "Make this trade now." It's like, like it wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals. Like if the Panthers were knocking on the Cardinals' door and just being like, "Hey, dog, we will give you shit these picks."
Yeah, or you're going to have to, back to the leverage. You're going to have to create some sort of leverage, even if that means like, I don't want to say lying, but kind of like what the Panthers did for Burns this year, right? They created the smoke and mirrors, and the Rams ended up offering 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns. I don't know why you don't take that deal, but you're going to either have to. You're going to have to give up leverage, or you're going to have to create some sort of leverage to make Kyler Murray viable. Because if everyone knows you want to get rid of Kyler, then you're not going to get the maximum value on the return for Kyler. So if I'm the Cardinals, you got to ride this out. Unless Kyler Murray is the one who wants to be traded, well, then he kind of has the leverage. That can get kind of tricky. Yeah, try to keep as much leverage as possible. If Kyler Murray demands a trade, I would challenge his agent, hey, go find me a trade. This is what I want. Let him do the legwork. Like other than that, like you're really in a lose-lose situation if Kyler Murray is getting traded before his contract extension even kicks in.
Now I will say this.
Gator.
Oh, Gator J said those Ram picks that the Panthers are looking for were for 2045 and 2021. So I would say this: if Kyler Murray woke up one day and demanded a trade from the Arizona Cardinals, I think they would laugh in his face.
Yes.
I think like they'd probably be like, "Hey, yo, dog, you what? Go find us something then, little man." That's
exactly. That's if you go find me 3 first-round picks, you out.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask. So back to the New York Jets, right? Since we're on the conversation of quarterbacks, Robert Saleh came out after that shit show of a game versus the Patriots, and he didn't want to come. He didn't want to commit to Zach Wilson as the quarterback for this upcoming week. Do you think the writing's on the wall?
Yeah. So let the record show that I never believed in Zach Wilson for a second. I never saw it at BYU. Like I know the streets were hot for Zach Wilson. I never saw it. I was like, I don't get it. Maybe I'm wrong, but Robert Saleh
those throws on the run for 50 yards across his body down the field.
Oh, against Coastal Carolina, my God, what is the NFL going to do? Oh my God! But I think for Saleh's right, you can't sacrifice the 51 for the 1 if that 1 is not Patrick Mahomes, right? If it's not if that 1 isn't the 1. Then you feed him to the wolves. Like you can't. Like how can you look Sauce and Quentin Williams in the face and say, yeah, Zach Wilson gives us the best chance to win. When you have
Wow.
a Super Bowl winner sitting on the bench.
Man, it's funny because like I feel like if I'm Joe Flacco, I'm sitting here, I'm sitting here, I'm chilling. Like, I mean, if I play, I play. If I don't, I don't. I'm still getting paid, right?
I'm
Like,
still
fuck
getting
it.
paid.
Man, let me tell you something. Robert Saleh, you sir are what you sir are in what we like to call a true pickle. A true pickle. Because I know you're looking at your offense, especially those first 3 weeks of the season, like we could move the ball. We could move the ball enough.
Yep.
Now I know he's probably saying the loss of Breece Hall is big, but Robert Saleh is looking at his team
I'm sorry, guys.
like, and I know he's probably his GM's probably sitting over there like, you gotta start this dude. We drafted him for a reason.
Tough scene.
Listen, Robert Saleh, get Zach Wilson out of there if you want your job. You got a decision has to be made.
Fuck out of there.
Get the fuck out of there. All right. On some more playful, funny shit. So it was announced this morning that the Denver Broncos had waived Melvin Gordon.
Yep.
So when I heard that, the next tweet I saw was that Melvin Gordon had been released because after the game on Sunday, he was caught in the locker room playing Future, and Russell Wilson demanded his immediate release. Now, I read this and I said, there's no fucking way this story is true, but who gives a fuck? I'm about to run with these lies. Dog, Melvin Gordon got that damn locker room. It was like, listen, you can't even throw for 200 yards, you broke son of a bitch. You know what? Turn this mask off on. Run the whole Hendrix album back. Fam, Melvin Gordon heard that Future was Grammy nominated and watched his QB lead them to another L versus the fucking Las Vegas Raiders and said, yo, play that Wait For You on repeat over and over again. I'm waiting for you to release me or fire this bum-ass quarterback. Melvin Gordon, dog. Fam, he was in there playing NASCAR. He had to play the racks on racks on racks. Then he probably got into all fam. He probably played the Body Party remix. And if any of y'all know, Sierra made Body Party, and the remix was featuring Future because Future wrote the record.
Melvin Gordon said, ejectocito. I'm out.
Listen. The problem is, I know Melvin Gordon is not the only person in there.
Dog, like if that's true, can you imagine everyone else is like, all we got to do, man.
Like they probably like, oh, that's all we got to do to get off this bum ass team. Run it up, fam. There are probably Broncos players who are like DMing Future. Ayo, dog, please give us a deluxe to your album. I need a reason. I need a reason. Hey, yo, did you see Melvin Gordon's post?
No, what did it say?
So Melvin Gordon posted a picture on his IG story. It was him. They photoshopped him in front of a white Bronco that was driven once by O.J. Simpson.
No, I gotta find this. Hold on. We gotta see this in real time. Melvin Gordon.
Listen, that tells me
no.
That tells me Melvin Gordon was not upset about his release. And I don't blame him
at all.
I do not blame him. Listen, all right. What do you think? What do you think was the song that Melvin Gordon played of Futures in the locker room that got him kicked?
Oh, it was definitely Body Party. Like that, the Body Party is the ultimate diss. Your arch nemesis singing to your now wife while you raising his son.
You know, yo, if someone really went,
while you raising his son,
if someone really wanted to get petty, they can do some real slick shit. Go in there and play "Drunken Love" by Beyonce over and over and over again. And for those who don't know, Future also wrote "Drunken Love."
Oh, I did not know that. Ooh.
Yeah. Future wrote Drunken Love. So if I was somebody, I'd go in there and play Drunken Love over and over again and be like, yeah, my boy Future wrote this.
So you sneak this, and you not only playing Future songs, you doing songs Future
I'm
has
playing
touched.
songs he was featured on. I'm playing songs that he wrote. And Future got some bops. What the hell is Russell Wilson going to do if someone turned on March Madness in the locker room? Hey, dog, I wish you would touch that ox. Touch that ox. I'll be, fam.
You
I know
gonna
someone
fight
was in
him?
there like, yo, someone's probably in there like, yo, Russell Wilson, do not change this song unless you can go one game this season throwing more than 4 touchdown passes and less than 1 interception.
I did see a graph on Twitter. It's like it's a graph that shows how many touchdowns Russell Wilson has thrown over the course of the season compared to the number of bathrooms he has in his home. So he either has 12 or 14 bathrooms in his home, and he hasn't even thrown enough touchdowns to match the bathrooms in his home. And it's just hilarious. If I find it, I'll send it to you. It's absolutely hilarious.
Denver, he scammed y'all out of 250 of them things.
$250
And somewhere in Seattle, Pete Carroll is chewing gum laughing because he knew it all along.
All he
knew
gonna have to
it
do is pay
all
Geno
along.
$37 million.
You say what?
Geno is a free agent after this year. I believe if they franchise tag him, the franchise tag for quarterbacks next year is either 35 or 37 million.
Yo, Geno, and I bet you Geno will. He'll take that next year.
Oh yeah, franchise tag me, dog. Run me my paper.
Yeah. Listen, and this is why I applaud Kirk Cousins. I applaud Kirk Cousins. He played under that franchise tag. It's like, y'all don't want to pay me? Cool,
dog.
Another good season. He put together like 2 or 3 good seasons on that franchise tag. And Minnesota saw him, was like, Case Keenum, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Man.
Kurt will give you full guarantee. Come on over.
Shoot. All right. I gotta ask you this now.
Yes, sir.
So, there was a football game played in Indianapolis.
Yes, sir.
And the Eagles, they pulled out a very, very close one. So I gotta ask you, why was your head coach acting like Pat Bev after Minnesota won in the play-in tournament after this 1-point victory over the Fighting Jeff Saturdays?
So how can you hate a man like Nick Sirianni? For those who don't know, Nick Sirianni coached in Indianapolis before he came to Philadelphia. Frank Wright was Nick's mentor. They are very close. They are good friends. For anyone who follows the Eagles, every Monday morning, Sirianni does a radio show appearance, and he went kind of a little bit more in depth of he feels like the Colts did Frank Wright wrong, and that they used him as kind of like a scapegoat. So it was good to walk into Indy and beat the franchise that he believes did his friend dirty. And my question to you is, who wouldn't want a homeboy like that?
Nah, I'm with you. On the strictly the homeboy aspect of it, Nick Sirianni a homie for that one. But dog, if you go act like that, you got to go up in there and you got to put your foot right up their ass. Y'all,
a win is a win.
I agree. You just heard me say in the NFL, don't matter how you win, you got to win.
You got to win.
But if you're gonna do all that, you're gonna do all the animation after it. No. What I'm trying to say is Nick Sirianni's animation was not one of someone who only won by a point. Like he should have been a little bit. He should have been happy that he won, but he looked like literally frame by frame. Him and Pat Bev had the same reaction. Only he didn't take his jersey off and throw it into the crowd like Pat Bev did.
But Frank did get on the stool and start talking shit to some of the Indy fans, and he's like, "That shit for Frank Wright. I love it. I'm glad Nick is like. I hope one day, like I hope my homies ride for me the way Nick rode for Frank Wright, and Nick and also Nick is not stupid. Nick is paving the way for Frank Wright to come back to Philadelphia in an offensive role. Maybe not the offensive coordinator, because Shane Steichen is the offensive coordinator. But Shane has been doing a great job. I wouldn't be shocked.
Rick is really good with QBs, right?
Yes, he is. He is the one that fixed Carson for that MVP season. All I'm saying is I would not be shocked if Frank Wright is back in Philadelphia next year, either as the offensive coordinator because Shane Steichen gets an offensive job because what he's done with Jalen Hurts, or as a quarterback's coach.
Speaking of return to Philadelphia, Ben Simmons over a left shoulder, is currently returning to Philadelphia. So, being that you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and I heard a little bit of the announcements as they gave him, as they were going through the announcements, he was getting booed. So let me ask you something. How long do you think the city of Philadelphia is really going to keep this beef up with Ben Simmons?
Forever.
And you think it's strictly because he kind of just gave up on playing for him?
Yep.
So why do you think the folks in Philadelphia refuse to acknowledge that Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid both kind of threw him under the bus and was like, "No, we got to get this dude up out of here"?
Philadelphia is a city that believes in their athletes being mentally tough, just as tough as they are physically. In the eyes of Philadelphia fans, if you can't take some valid criticism from your coach and your teammate who is also a superstar, then you don't need to be here. And a lot of people think Ben kind of, I don't want to say, I'll say they were kind of, he was kind of faking the mental health thing. He was faking injuries. There's a report of him coming to practice and he's playing with a cell phone in his pocket. He getting kicked out of practice. From what I understand, it seems like Philadelphia fans think Ben Simmons was mentally weak and gave up on them. Even after all the years they supported Ben when he couldn't shoot, when they were encouraging him, like same thing with Markelle Fultz, right? They love Markelle Fultz now more than anything, but so I'm sorry. Bam, the Santa story is old and weak. Santa came to the vet drunk for that game, and the fans noticed and they booed him. He was there for the kids. He came to the vet drunk, and the fans threw snowballs at him because he showed up drunk. That's why Santa is infamous in Philadelphia. That story
is funny because I'm hearing all this, and I'm just saying, yo, Philly is definitely a city where I would not want to be a professional athlete. Boy, like, how do you hear this and be like, oh no, I definitely want to go be a professional athlete in Philly? Y'all like each other.
If they love you, you are immortal. Like, look at Brandon Graham. When Brandon Graham got to Philly from Michigan, they hated Brandon. We hated Brandon. I was in there because Brandon Graham didn't do anything. And then Brandon Graham turned the corner, and now he is a legend. And he had the sack in the Super Bowl to seal the game.
Do you think they're going to love Joel Embiid for a very long time?
Yes, they will. Joel gets it, right? Joel loves the city. If Joel wins a championship, absolutely. But I think they will love Joel like Donovan McNabb. Just like the city loves Donovan, I think they'll love Joel.
So Kyle said he wouldn't go as far as to say that Ben Simmons was faking the mental health stuff, but that's definitely not an excuse for how he treats others. Plus, all he had to do was learn how to shoot. I think now I want to focus on that last sentence that Kyle said. Plus, all he had to do was learn how to shoot. I think that's the root of what I think Philadelphia fans' problem with Ben Simmons was. It was like, cool, yeah, your coach is clearly, your coach is throwing you on the bus. Yeah, Joel Embiid's throwing you on the bus. But all folks are ever asking you to do was expand your offensive basketball game, and you act like you didn't want to do it. And then when your inability on the offensive end affected us detrimentally or affected us negatively, like in the actual playoffs when we needed it, now we got to attack you. And I think when Philadelphia fans decided to attack Ben Simmons, they thought they did it in a way of, we just want you to get better. He took it as if it's fuck me, then it's fuck y'all too. Then.
I think yes. I think that is the oil, the water, and the oil and water or whatever. I think that is it. I'm not saying that. And Kyle, to your point, I don't think he was faking it. I just don't think he told anyone about it. But Bam, you talking a lot of shit.
Bam, now this is funny. Now put this up. Bam said Philly is the only city that would build a Rocky statue.
You can go.
Bam.
Well, you know what you can do in Baltimore? Y'all can put up a statue of Stringer Bell. How does that sound?
Okay, but this is my thing. Do you know how long it took me to realize that that Rocky is not a real person? And so when I heard about the Rocky statue, I said, yo, wait a minute, hold on. Y'all gave Sylvester Stallone a statue, and this dude, not even a real world champion, and Rocky Balboa does not really exist? All right, y'all might.
Before we move on, do you want to hear a funny story about when I went to Philly one time for a bachelor party? So I was at the Rocky statue. I didn't even let you answer the question. I'm gonna tell the
Yeah,
story
go ahead.
because it's a funny story. Stand at the Rocky statue. There's a stoplight. It's on the corner. Dude comes in hot on his motorcycle, falls off his bike at the light, slides like he's in a movie. My man gets up, jumps on his motorcycle, drives away. No one does anything. Like no one checks on him. Like no one's like, oh my god. It was like, oh yeah, this happens all the time here. Another funny story that happened to me one time. So my wife was from South Jersey. When we had first started dating, her father bought her a car, and he met us in Philadelphia to get the car. We were on our way home, driving through the city, and I swear to you, it was like a Meek Mill video. All these dudes in dirt bikes came out of nowhere, and they were riding on both sides of the car. And I was like, I have no idea what to do right now. I need to turn left to get on the interstate, but all these dudes are in the way. So I stopped because I don't want that's vehicular manslaughter if I hit someone. But yeah, I was like, it's time for us to go. It's getting dark outside. I don't want to be in these streets. This is some Walking Dead stuff.
I'm telling you, Philly is everyone listen. There we can get a list going of cities I wouldn't want to be a professional in. New York, LA, Philly is another one, and Miami's
I'd love to be a professional athlete in Miami.
See,
that's number one.
Miami, New York, and LA, there's too many distractions. So if like you would go there and you'd be the man, and you have to deal with a whole lot of means. Philly, it's just like, don't have an off year. Don't have an off year. You're gonna really hate yourself.
Unless the people love you. Like Joel can have an off year, but the people love Joel, especially since they think he's been robbed of 2 MVPs.
Well, speaking of Joel, I want to ask another thought of yours. Just staying in Philly, do you think the Sixers are going to be in trouble now that Joel Embiid has been ruled out with this foot injury?
Yep. So Tyrese Maxey's out with a foot injury. Joel Embiid is out with a foot injury. James Harden is out with a foot injury. What the hell are they walking on in Philadelphia? All these foot injuries.
I don't know, man. Tobias Harris is supposed to come back soon, but listen, this is why you go all in and you win when you can, dog. Yep. This is why the Rams are going to finish with probably around 4 or 5 wins total this year, and they're going to be perfectly okay because they're just going to shine that pretty Lombardi trophy that they won last year.
Yep.
You go all in and you win when you can win.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Especially when your star is a big man.
Especially when your star is a big man. You don't have a lot of time on that one. All right. Last thing in our quick hitter section before we get into a little fantasy talk. And this is all jokes. I don't even know what I really wanted to say about this. I put this on the docket because it's funny. Todd Chrisley, you cannot escape the government. Stop thinking y'all can skip out on paying Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam is not going to find you, dog. Matter of fact, the richer you are and the more money they know you got, the more money they're going to make sure you are paying them and not trying to fool them. Todd Chrisley, they gave you 12 of them things for thinking
federal prison.
In federal prison. Oh, brother. And they gave his wife 7. So, Danny, the show should not be Chrisley Knows Best. It's Chrisley Knows Jail. Because
going to jail.
He knows the slammer.
He gonna get to know the slammer. Everyone thought he already knew the slammer, but if he didn't, he about to find out.
Oh, yeah. And Todd, you gonna get in there, and they're gonna be like, oh, you Todd Chrisley? Oh, you pretty in person. They're gonna hear that little voice of yours. Oh, yeah.
We watch your dog.
Especially when they hear his voice. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, that voice, that he losing that. He gonna go, hey.
From Todd Chrisley to Todd Christina.
Hey, yo, Chip. Yo.
All right. You ready to get into a little fantasy talk?
Yes, I'm ready to get into some fantasy talk because I need to talk to Kyle for a minute. But let's go ahead.
All right. So since we got some of our Dynasty League folks in here,
yes,
let's start with our Dynasty League. So as we've said a few times before, this is our 10-team Dynasty League that Danny, myself, Kyle, Bam, Gator J, a few others that are in. Danny, I'm going to read through some of the highlights being the commissioner. Want to give a shout out to my guy, Dylan Friedman. He's been on a little bit of a slide, but he had the best team this week, scored 188 points.
Yep.
Danny, it said you are the most efficient manager.
Still
So
lost.
great job. And
Still
you said you
lost.
still lost.
Still got my ass beat, but okay.
Let's see. Least efficient manager was the guy I played. He only scored 84. Wouldn't have mattered if he had scored the whole 127. I beat him bad. Let's see. Biggest blowout. Shout out to Gator J. Yeah, shout out to Gator J, who won 186.04 to 117.5. Kyle, listen, man. Kyle, you just had a lot of unlucky weeks, man. That's all I can say when I look at Kyle. It's just like, dog, you just unlucky. So Danny, I'm looking at the standings right now. I'm in the American GM conference.
Mhm.
I'm 9-2. I think I have a playoff spot secured. Gator J is 6-5. He's 3 games behind me. We only got 3 games left to play. I think I can. I think a win this week sums me up. I think I should have a first round bye in our dynasty league. And then you, Danny, are in the national GM conference. Your division leader is 8-3.
Yep.
Who I actually play this week. So this game is actually huge. Like I play.
It's a big game.
I know. So like whoever wins, not only like if we both win, whoever wins is going to for sure get a first round bye, but they're also going to probably win the division too, or win their respective divisions. So that's big. But yeah, division leaders 8-3 in your division, then 7-4, and then Danny, you're sitting there at third in your division at 6-5. What are your thoughts?
Still in the playoffs. Whoever Rojo Truther is, stop ignoring me. The trade deadline is this week, and I have made Rojo Truther 2 excellent offers, and I have a third in my pocket, but he is not responding to any of my messages. And you know what's going to happen? His ass going to come around in the offseason. Hey, you want to do a trade? You want to do? And I'm telling him, get out of my face.
There you go, right there.
Kyle, that's your buddy. Tell your boy stop ignoring me. I've been sending him, tell him the player that I want, if he is not available, to let me know so I can keep it moving to someone, because I have a list of players that I am targeting, and he has 2 of them. And if they aren't on the trade block, which one of them is, he's put one of them on the trade block, but I'm going for the other person. Tell your boy stop ignoring me. If he doesn't want to do business with me, that's fine. But the trade deadline this week, and I ain't got time. I've sent him what's his face. Hold on. I sent him a trade package. I sent him one a couple of days ago. He rejected it. So I tried to message him and send a counter offer. He never responded. So I created a counter offer, and he hasn't responded. It's been over 24 hours. Like if you don't want to do business with me, just let me know. I can keep it moving.
You should. I hope you're inquiring elsewhere too.
He has 2 people that I like are grails.
You gotta look on your other. You gotta look at the rest of your trade board and start. Exactly what Gator. See, Gator say. See, I'm just thinking the same thing because y'all are in the same division. You're a game behind him. I don't know if y'all got to play again. That's a hard ask. Let me ask you something.
Trying to set.
Do you think at this stage in the season, the Giants would make a trade with the Eagles, or the Giants would make a trade with the Cowboys if they really, really needed a player?
No, but
you gotta think of it the same way.
I would like the respect of him to say, I do not want to do business with you right now. That's all. He just ain't got to ignore me. He could say, you know what?
He might have his notifications turned off, but
But Kyle, guess what? You are on my list of people to talk to if Rojo Truther does not want to do business with me. Don't worry, Kyle. I'm coming to see you. Don't worry, Kyle. I'm knocking on your door real soon. I might do it tonight, Paul. I'm tired of waiting for Rojo Truther. I might be talking to you tonight, Kyle.
I'm scared. I'm gonna be honest with you. Kyle has me scared because, listen,
hey man,
somewhat. I see. I already knew when I pushed the trade deadline back to week 12 that by that point people will know who is and who is not going to make the playoffs. And I've been looking at Kyle's team, and I'm just like, we're going to get to week 11 and week 12, and people are going to try to buy right now. And Kyle is. If there is a seller, Kyle, I've been looking at them draft picks, all the draft picks Kyle got, and I'm just like, oh man, this dude, he's about to be retooling. Oh man.
Kyle,
Kyle,
you know what,
I
Kyle?
don't know.
You know what, Kyle? I don't even care. Don't even talk to Rojo Truth. I'm gonna talk to you, Kyle. We're gonna have a conversation later. I'm gonna send you some thoughts of mine, and let's see if we can work out a deal. Because I'm tired of. I got a lot of. Shout out to Bam for giving me a first round pick for Christian Kirk. Because now I can go big game hunting. Like there are some dudes on my list that I missed out in the draft. Oh, look who it is! Hello, Rojo. Welcome to the show.
So for those who are listening, Rojo Truther has just joined the live stream, and he enters and says, "I heard someone was talking smackality."
It is I, Rojo. Ronald Isley's tax returns has been trying to reach you for the past 4 days, and I have yet to hear back.
Yo,
Rojo, are you open for business? Or should I take my business elsewhere? Is this the 60s and I need to go somewhere else? Or are you open to doing business with me?
Oh, shit. Listen. All I'm going to say is I hope y'all can come together for some business.
How much would it take? Now, I'm not going to say the quote from Life with the Pies.
Listen, you know what? I would say that in both leagues that I commissioned, the trade deadline is this week. You know me, I push through all trades. I am very curious to see what the trade will be in both of those leagues. I think a splash trade is coming in both leagues. And I'm gonna say this. In our dynasty league, I have a stable of running backs. My best receiver is Tyreek Hill, but my wide receiver 2 is Gabe Davis, and I don't know, man. I don't know if that's where I want to put my wide receiver 2 stock. And so I've been thinking about, maybe I look to trade a running back for a good wide receiver 2, but
hey, listen, if things go the way that I want them to go, you and I can have a conversation, but I need Rojo Truther to answer the phone.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either.
Last thing I'm gonna say about fantasy in regards to our redraft league, that team is not 4-7. Danny, me and you play this week. It is our second. It's our second game in our. Oh man, he said your offer's mid.
Well, then say something. I've been trying to do business with you, and you just ignoring me. I'm trying to be like so tell me they mid and tell me what we can do to do business.
Trading in fantasy be so funny, dog. He's so funny.
Like I'm here asking you questions, and I gotta get Kyle to call you to call me.
Hey man, he said step your trade up.
Well, tell me, work with me. I'm out here throwing shit at the wall trying to see what stick. You tell me and see if we can come to a medium.
He here now, and he saw your message. So now y'all about to. I bet
he ain't about to. Nah, he ain't about. He gonna reject it, and then he gonna go off into the sunset. He gonna run the clock out till next year.
It's gonna be it's gonna be all right. This is all I'm gonna say. In our dynasty league, I think I'm gonna try to explore a wide receiver 2. But my thing is, the more I look, I've only lost 2 games. So I think of it as like, yo, this team is good the way it is. Like I be scoring points. So like this team's good the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe Davis as my wide receiver 2, I just don't know. Do not know.
Rojo said he running fades, which is true. He just beat me this week. Come talk to me. That's all. If we can't come to an agreement about that one player, there's someone else I want to talk to you about. That's all. I just want to talk. That's it.
You just want to talk. Love it. All right. Last thing, because we got to speak to us question.
Yes, we do.
So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna get up out of here for the people. All right. So people, we love our speak to us questions. This week's question: With the holidays approaching soon, it is clear that a viewing war is about to be kicked off between the NBA, the NFL, and to a slight degree, the World Cup. The NBA has always been seen as the kings on Christmas, but I'm curious to hear how you all think the NBA stands versus the narcotic that is the NFL and potentially the World Cup from now until then.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, I'll let you go first.
So hold on, before we start, let's talk about the NFL Christmas games.
I know the
I
Packers.
don't think they're that interesting.
Packers play
to
the
be
Dolphins.
honest. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, so Packers, Dolphins, Broncos, Rams, Tampa Bay, Arizona. Let me tell you something. To quote Stringer Bell, Bam, in The Wire, he said, "It doesn't matter if we put this with a red cap, with a blue cap. It doesn't matter if it's stepped on. It doesn't matter if it's pure. If it's watered down, guess what? They buy twice as much. NFL is that narcotic, and that vein is going to get filled whether the game is stepped on or not. NBA just needs to count your losses. That happens once every 6 or 7 years. Cool. Other than that, Christmas is yours, but this year it belongs to football."
Man. So yeah, I'm leaning a little bit towards you. Yeah, the games aren't necessarily the NFL games on Christmas aren't necessarily a big draw. I'm with Kyle. I'm definitely gonna be watching the Packers game. But then outside of that, yo, dog, nobody in America wants to watch the Denver Broncos or the LA Rams. So if first thing, if I'm the NFL, I kind of want to switch that game. I want to put that game first. I want to get the fuck out the way because you can't change it now. Can't change it now. So I'd want to get that game the fuck out the way fast. Secondly, I'm looking at if I'm the NBA, it's like, okay, if the best game y'all got today, if the best y'all got is Aaron Rodgers falling apart team versus a Miami team that they can't cover, or Tom Brady and his falling apart team versus an Arizona Cardinals team who you're trying to force down my throat on HBO Max and they're still bad. Yo, dog, we got LeBron versus Luka. We got Steph versus D-Book. No, we got Steph versus Ja.
Yep.
We got D-Book versus who the Suns? I forgot who the Suns played. We got the Giannis versus Tatum. You know we got the Knicks there. If I'm the NBA, bro, I say let's fucking go to war because y'all stars ain't our stars. And the product y'all about to put out there, after the first 20 minutes of these NFL games, watch how the viewership is just going to spike or drop because, fam, nobody wants to watch the Broncos and the Rams. That's going to be a snooze fest. The Packers and Dolphins are going to be good for like a quarter and a half until the Dolphins realize that Packers don't know how to – they can't stop the run, nor do we have the athletes to cover Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And the Cardinals and Bucks are going to just be competitive because it's going to be two bad teams. So that'll be the best football game just because it's two bad teams. Fam. Yeah.
I'm here for Luka LeBron.
Yeah, like Luka versus
LeBron. I'm here for Luka LeBron. If Bron's healthy, hopefully Bron's healthy by then.
Now, I will say the World Cup is the wild card because depending on the World Cup, like depending on the game, fuck all this. I might be zoned in on the World Cup. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's fair.
Because it's the exclusivity. This thing only comes around 4 years. Y'all play basketball 82 games a season. And
every year.
And yo, fam, the Warriors, the Warriors are kind of shaky. Like, I don't know. You're more than likely to get a worse product with the NFL. That's why I already think the NBA has an advantage on Christmas Day. The only thing about the NBA is you may be quicker to a blowout than you are in the NFL.
Yes. But in the NBA, no lead is safe because the shooters now are way more advanced.
Oh, man. Love it. Danny, man, I mean, let the people know where they can find us, where to follow us, and I'm going to find us a song to get up out of here, too, man.
All right. First and foremost, Rojo Truther, you can find me on the Sleeper app. I am Ronald Isley's Tax Returns. I don't care what y'all say about me groveling. I'm trying to build the team of the future. Y'all can kiss my ass. How dare you guys get in the comments of my show to talk shit to me? Anywho, find me on the Bird app, in the Ocean 41. I appreciate y'all coming through. This was a lot of fun tonight. It was a blast. Rojo, thank you for coming through. Kyle, Gator, Bam, Jamie, everyone that came through and showed love tonight. Really appreciate y'all coming through.
And make sure y'all share the show with your peoples. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Make sure you guys are retweeting, commenting on under the audio files wherever you are listening at. I mean, the interactions really go a great way. We really appreciate all the love. Make sure you follow the kid at Los Demix. That's LOSDEEMIX on Instagram, on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube. Danny, the song I'm playing today is, I don't know if I played this last week. I don't think I did. It's "Nothing Even Matters" by Sir. I'm in a kind of an R&B bag.
Okay.
This is a little something. If you got you a little girl, if you got you a queen, and you just want to let her know, baby. You hear him?
I hear it.
Come on. Sometimes you gotta let her know, baby. Nobody loves me better. I want this love forever.
Okay.
He said he can't even picture his life without his girl. I don't know. Shout out to my baby. You know you are loved.
Okay. We out.
Peace, people. Much love.
Speak on the _pod. Speak on the _pod. Twitter, Instagram. See y'all next time.